Alright, you guys, this is a quick disassembly, reassembly video for the Mossberg Maverick 88 12 gauge shotgun. This is the 18.5 inch barrel. Basic tool you're going to need is a pen or something of that sort just to push out the firing pin, the retainer right here for your trigger. Obviously, before you work with your gun, you want to make sure your safety's on, make sure the gun's empty, which this gun currently has 5 rounds of double-aught buck in the chamber, so I'm going to go ahead and take it out real quick. Drop it around. Alright, and go ahead and do a check. See that we're safe. There's nothing in there at all. Alright. Okay, start the disassembly. You want to leave your gun partially open, your chamber. And you want to go ahead and take off the barrel. And what you do is you take this little bolt right here and you screw it off. And your barrel should slide right out. Alright, once you do that, you want to go ahead and take your pen or thing of the sort and push this right here out. This is the retaining pin for your trigger assembly. And you shouldn't really have to push it too hard and it'll slide right through. There you have that right there. And then to pull out your trigger assembly, pull it from the starting from the back, so you pull it out like that. It should slide right out. What you do after that is you want to go ahead and take out. You have two clips, not clips, but 2 metal rods on either side. And if you turn the gun upside down, they should fall right out. But I'm going to go ahead and take these out right here, that way you can see them. There's clip number 1. Sorry, these are your bullet extractor. I can't remember what they are, but anyways. You'll see basically that one of them has a knob on it, or a nipple, whatever you choose to call it. That is the distinguishing factor between the two. Not the only one, but that's the only one that you really need to know about. So when you're reassembling them, you want to make sure you know which one's which. After that, what you want to do is you have your, you bring the camera in a little bit closer here. Just 1 second, bear with me. To fold down my tripod. Alright. Now, you should be able to see this right here. What you do have is you have this piece right here, which sits on top of your actual bolt assembly, your firing pin assembly. You want to go ahead and slide that back, and it should slide right out. After that is done, what you can do is you can go ahead and take out your riser. So what you do is you pull it up. It should be real easy. You shouldn't have to force anything. What you want to do is you want to squish the 2 ends together, because that's how they stay inside the gun. And what should happen is you go ahead and get the bolt forward first. You want to go ahead and squeeze the 2 ends together after you push the bolt forward, and it should pull right out. And you'll see the 2 ends to it right there. And then the bolt should slide right out the front. And then, of course, you have your fore end, which will slide right off. That right there is your completely disassembled Maverick 88. Let me just do a camera check to make sure that we're getting everything. Looks like we should be. So there you go. You have your fore end, your bolt. You have your forget the name of the parts, but there you go. There's your trigger assembly. There's your 2 pins, and you will see one of them has the nipple on it. One of them does not. There's the retaining pin right there, and you'll see that one side of it has a little edge to it. And you have your riser right here, and you have your your barrel. If you are doing this for cleaning purposes, what I do recommend is cleaning your barrel with a good brush and a nice solvent. Then run a couple dry patches through it, and then go ahead and hit it with some gun oil or dry lubricant, depending on where you're shooting the gun and what type of conditions. Personally, I've been using dry lubricant because I've been shooting it out in the desert and dry, sandy type conditions. Basically, if you're going with dry lube or anything of the sort, I would also go ahead and give everything else a good quick coating and let it dry off. But now we're going to go over the reassembly of the gun. So let me do a quick camera check again. Make sure that we're getting this. And it looks like we should be good. Okay, reassembly. You have your empty stock right here. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and take your bolt. There's the front of the bolt, as you can clearly see with the bullet extractor. Since the gun is upside down, the bolt is going to be going in upside down, and this is going to be going back. You can see that right there. Slide it in through the front. What you want to do after that is you want to go ahead and take your bullet extractor and riser, and there's two slots on either side of your gun where the little nipples on this are going to go into, and you want to make sure that you put it in the right way. Go ahead and slide that down in there and get it set. Okay, once you're done with that, it should fall nicely on either side of your bolt. What you want to do then is you want to go ahead and take this part right here, and the way this sits is, let me see if I can get my bolt out and show you guys real quick. This should be sitting, once it's in your gun, it should be sitting just like this. That way the, I believe that's the correct way. Yes, that is. That way when you rack the gun, you pull itself back and forward, back and forward. So when you do have it set in there, you want to have it set like that. You go ahead and get it back in there. And you want to bring your bolt about halfway back, that way you can line this up real well. It is not easy to line up, especially if you do not have it set in the right spot. And you want to go ahead and drop that in there, and you should drop it from the center of your gun. There's basically a little cutout where you can drop it in, and you want to put your bolt back, that way you can line it up. And once it is lined up in there, you should be able to see that it will in fact move the bolt back and forth. What you want to do after that is you want to have your that part that I just showed you in the spot where I have it right there. And the reason is, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and take your forearm, and there's two holes on either side of the gun where you can slide your forearm in. You should be able to see that right there. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and put your forearm over the end of your barrel. Try not to scratch it. Go ahead and slide the forearm in, and the forearm is going to go ahead and slide, and it's supposed to go underneath that part right there that is connected to the bolt. So what you want to do is you want to push down on the back of that, push down, push forward on the back of that. That way you can lift over the forearm arms right there. And then it should drop down into place and lock with the bolt and the can't remember the name of it again, but it should lock into place just like that. And let me go ahead and try and get a close-up of that for anybody that needs it. Just one second. The gun does not really want to sit stable in this position. Does not want to be stable in this position. Okay, that works well enough. Okay, you should be able to see it right there. Go ahead and hold the gun right there. And what you should be able to see is there is the piece that is connected to the bolt. And if you can see, the forearm is right there. It's actually inside of this piece. So if I pull that out, this is the way you started with the bolt and the, can't remember the name of this piece again, but with the bolt and that piece. And what you want to do is you want to push down and forward and then slide the forearm into there. And the forearm should slide right into those little notches. And then once you push it back and push this part down, push the forearm back, it should line up by itself. Alright, let me get the camera set back up again. Okay. What you want to be doing after that, actually let me do a quick camera check, make sure that we're good. Okay, it does appear so. Looks like we're good. So my camera's a little bit loose on there. Get it set up. There we go. Okay. What you want to be doing after that is the little pins that I told you about. You want to take them, and the one with the nipple on it has a very distinct hole on the right side of the barrel where you're going to put it in. And these love to fall out on you while you're putting your gun together, so you might want to have a nice steady platform for them to sit on. The one with the nipple on it goes right there, and the one without goes on the other side. And basically what you should see is you want to go ahead and take these, and there's a little groove on the inside of the gun, which I hope you can see right there. Little groove on the inside of the gun where these slide into. So what you want to do is you want to go and start from slightly behind where it's supposed to be and push it forward, and it should slide into place exactly like that one did. And if you see right there, it is now resting inside of its hole where it's supposed to be. And you want to take the other one, and what you want to make sure about these is obviously that the extractor, this is the bullet extractor, you want to make sure that it's pointing outwards, as in towards the inside of the gun. So you want to go ahead and drop your other one in, and these do love to fall out, so you got to be careful with that. Okay, what you want to do now that everything's assembled, you want to go ahead and put in your trigger assembly. And what you should see over here is on the front of the trigger assembly, there's little pits on each corner. What these pits do is they act like hooks, and they hook right underneath here where your trigger assembly is going to go. So what you want to do is you want to take your trigger assembly, slide the pits underneath the edges of where it's supposed to go, and push forward and down as you go. And what should happen is the trigger assembly should slide forward and down as it rests into its proper place, and then it should slide straight back and click in, just like that. Once you're done with that, you take your retainer bolt, and I prefer to push it through with that side. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and put it in and push it through, and it's very easy to push through. Just make sure it's in there properly, like so. And it should be flush with the gun. At this point you can do a quick action check. You really do not need your barrel on for that. So you see that the action is working. It seems that all the parts are working. After that, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and put your barrel back on. So slide your chamber about 3/4 of the way closed. Grab your barrel, and this is after you finish cleaning everything. Go ahead and slide it onto there, and it should line up rather well. If I could get the gun to stand, it would line up rather well. There we go. Should slide straight in there. And you should be able to go ahead and tighten up your bolt on the front of the gun right there. Once that is done, you should be able to do a quick action check, make sure that everything's properly set. If you have any dummy rounds, go ahead and feel free to cycle them. And just to be clear, dummy rounds are rounds that do not have any gunpowder or anything of the sort in them. Please do not be taking a round that you've tried to fire before and didn't fire, and then using it to do an action check. What a dummy round is it has a rubber primer in the center with no gunpowder and no shot inside. It's basically just to cycle your gun and make sure everything's in check. Seems that everything's running nice and smooth. Safety is still on, that never needs to be turned off. And that's pretty much it. If you guys like the video, want to see more, want to know more about this gun, about reliability, me shooting it on the range, different kinds of rounds, whatever you guys want to know, feel free to let me know. I also have a couple other guns that I work with, mainly my 9130 1939 Tula Mosin Nagant, as well as a Smith & Wesson 45 pistol and a Mossberg 500, as well as a Ruger 30-06. So if you guys want to know anything about those guns, feel free to ask me in the questions, and as always, have a great day. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe.